Hi everyone, I'm going to be talking today about how to grow your SMS subscribers. This is one of the most important topics I think in SMS marketing because it's really the foundation to any SMS marketing campaign. If you don't have subscribers, you can't send messages, and even if they're good messages, no one's going to get it, and no one will take in that message and generate revenue for you in sales. So the first thing for any SMS marketing campaign is to really grow their SMS subscriber database. And there's one strategy that we found at Tango over the last 7 years that has time after time produced results. And when you compare a business that uses SMS marketing to another business that uses SMS marketing but uses this strategy, the results are night and day. I would highly recommend every single business watch this webinar and follow the strategy, implement it in their own campaign, and within weeks, within months, you're going to see huge results. And in 6 months, 12 months, you're going to be so much further ahead in terms of the size of your SMS database compared to companies that don't follow this strategy. So without further ado, let's jump into the webinar. Okay, so my name is Derek Johnson. I am the founder and CEO of Tatango. I've been doing SMS marketing for a long time. It's been 7 years. I've helped every kind of business, small business, large business, enterprise business, grow their SMS database from tens to hundreds to thousands to hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And over the last 7 years, we've tried a bunch of different things. And time again, this strategy pays off for every single business. And now any business that comes to us that wants to start an SMS marketing campaign, it's almost a requirement for me to get the business to use this strategy to kick off their campaign. It's that important. So my name is Derek. Obviously, I'm from Tatango, and you can hit me up on Twitter at the Derek Johnson. And at the end of the webinar, I'll display my email also. So if you have any questions, you can email me. But feel free to tweet me. I'm always on Twitter. Okay, let's talk about what we're going to talk about. So the first thing is going to be incentivizing the opt-in, which means we need to get some type of offer or promotion to encourage people to give up their phone number, and I'll talk about that. We'll talk about the call to action. We'll go through a lot of different examples of businesses that have great call to actions, which whether they're on a billboard or on radio, on television, we'll go through each one of them and break them down piece by piece. We'll talk about bait and switch, which is a negative for a business. You definitely don't want to do that. I'll explain what it is and why you don't want to do it, and we'll give some examples. We'll talk about the incentive offer, how to structure the actual text message, when it actually gets sent, what's included in it. We'll go through all that stuff. We'll talk also about opt-in incentive concerns. Whenever you're a business and you're doing some type of promotion or offer, there's always going to be concerns there. So I'll go through the technology that can alleviate some of those concerns, plus some of the statistics and case studies that we've worked on that will alleviate those concerns, I think, also. And then I think the most important part is the proof. I can talk about these strategies and I can talk about, how to execute these strategies, but if they don't work for businesses and they don't work for your business, it's not that valuable. And with the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you some pretty impressive campaigns that have implemented these strategies from day one and have grown their subscriber base significantly. So I definitely encourage you to stick around if you're looking to either start your SMS campaign, you're starting at 0 subscribers, or maybe you need to, kick your campaign in the butt a little bit and, you've been kind of flatlining for a while. This is the strategy in the webinar that'll help you grow your SMS subscriber database month over month, significant percentage growth. Okay, let's talk about incentivizing the opt-in. This is really kind of the foundation for everything that I'm going to be talking about. Getting a customer's mobile phone number is really, really hard. Really, 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 really hard. most customers and consumers only have one phone number, unlike email where they have, their work and their personal email address, maybe that spam email address that they, sign up for all the offers on. The mobile phone number in the United States is very, very personal and protected. People want to protect it. So in a recent survey, 58% of consumers said they're more likely to opt into their favorite brand's mobile advertising if they get an offer, deal, or coupon. So if it's really, really hard to get somebody, a customer of yours, to get their phone number, but then there's a study that says 58% of consumers are willing to give up their phone number if their favorite brands gave them something, some type of incentive to give up that phone number. The conclusion is, in order to get your customers to give you their mobile phone number, you're gonna have to give them something in return. So let's talk about what that looks like. Let's look at some businesses that are doing that, and then let's go into the results. So call to action. If we already have the premise of, as a business, either starting out SMS marketing or I'm running a campaign right now and I want to kick it in the butt, we're going to have to give something away to customers to acquire their phone number. So what I see a lot of times happen though as a business is 100% on board with this concept. But then I look at their advertisement, I look at their billboard, I look at their print ad in the newspaper, and all it says is, text pizza to the short code to opt into our SMS club. And I do it on my mobile phone, and immediately when I opt in, I get 50% off, or I get a buy one, get one kind of deal. A really awesome incentive for me to give my phone number. The problem is the incentive wasn't advertised to me before I opted in. So even though you're giving an incentive to opt in, you're not actually telling the customer. So it is imperative, if you're going to give something away for your customer's mobile phone number, which I highly recommend, you need to advertise that is going to actually happen when a customer gives up their phone number. So I'm going to show you some good examples here. This is Seattle Suntan, a tanning salon, multiple locations. Their advertisement, I think, is the pinnacle of how to advertise a text messaging campaign with an incentive to join. Let me break it down for you. $20 off your next purchase, that is what I like to call the incentive. Then there's the qualifier. When you join our mobile VIP club, okay, so incentive, I'm hooked, I want $20 off my next purchase, I'll do whatever it takes to get that. Now I'm gonna, calm down a little bit, and I'm gonna look at the incentive or the qualifier. How do I get that $20 off? What do I gotta do? When you join our mobile VIP club, okay, great. Then the instructions are below. Text TANS to 33733. That's instructions for the customer to get the incentive. And you can even tell on the way they've actually laid this out and structured the font size and the bold. The biggest thing on this page is the incentive, which it should be. Then the qualifier is much more small. And then once they're hooked, then they hit them with the instructions at the bottom. So great advertisement here. If you're looking to do SMS marketing, this would be a great, campaign to mimic. Okay, let's talk about Julep. Julep is another great one. So let's look and let's find the incentive. The incentive is the big thing in the phone here. 50% off your next nail color, which if I was a woman, I'm pretty sure I really want that because that sounds like a pretty good deal. That's the incentive. The qualifier is up at the top there, become a Julep mobile insider. So that means, hey, you're going to receive text messages and from our brand. And then the instructions are at the very, very bottom. To get started, text Julep to 33733. So again, you can see these three components are showing up in all of these advertisements. And I'm going to keep going through different ads and you'll continue to see them. Now, as I go through these, think about you opting in or seeing these ads. Would this entice you to opt in? And if you own, the business, you're a marketing manager for the business, make sure that the ads that you're putting out there are enticing you to opt in. If they're not enticing you, most likely they're not going to entice your clients or your customers. Okay, this is another great one. My friends at Staples, they're killing it right now. So let's break this down. So they put the instructions up front, which I would switch it around, but they're still doing a great job. Text join to 555444. That's their instructions. Then the incentive is to get $5 off your next $25 purchase. That's a pretty good deal. And I think this brings, now you've kind of seen three different deals. This brings up the point that if you're going to give something away, make sure it's a value. If they would have offered 25 cents off, I don't think anybody would opt in, but $5, that means Staples is valuing every single phone number that they get as $5. Like that's how much they're willing to pay to acquire a phone number, which tells me with their SMS marketing campaign that SMS marketing for them is very, very valuable. So it's kind of an interesting way if you're seeing businesses kind of advertise, if their incentive is not very good, maybe they're not getting the kind of results that they need. But if you're seeing things like $5 off your next $25 purchase, Staples is making a killing in terms of their return on investment when they acquire a phone number. So let's look through, and then the qualifier is at the very bottom, plus get other exclusive offers sent to your phone. Perfect. Those three different things. I would structure it a little differently if it was me doing this ad. I would say big letters up at the top, get $5 off your next $25 purchase. That's the incentive. The qualifier is plus get our other exclusive offers sent to your phone, and then the instructions maybe a little bit bigger, text join to 555444. Again, this is a great ad, but there's always little tweaks that you can do, and trust me, the little tweaks can have significant impact. Okay, this one's a great one. Not very much, actual words here, but it still has all of those concepts. Again, their customers definitely understand this. So BFF, best friends forever. So BFF us, that pretty much to me, or I think to a customer of theirs, would mean like, hey, join our club or something along those lines. It might be a little, I think they might want to say like join our club or something a little along those lines, just for people that might be a little confused that by giving the phone number, they're going to be opting in for future text messages. But I think they can get away with it with, who their customers are. So BFF us, that is the qualifier that's saying, hey, you're going to, receive text messages from us and get 10% off. Okay, that's the incentive. And let's see, okay. And then, so they have every single thing, and the instructions, which unlike the others, which was kind of throwing me off, I was looking for the text part. The instructions are putting your phone number here. So just like the ads that we saw that were print-based and online-based, this is actually a website where people are typing in their phone numbers. So again, I would switch it. Again, you always want to put that incentive right up front. So what I would do is get 10% off when you BFF us, and then put in your phone number here. Again, great ad, but there's always little tweaks we can do. Okay, let's look at this one, Pizza Hut. This is on their Facebook page. You look down here, text HUT to 69488. That's the instructions to get free cheese sticks. That's the incentive on your next online order when you sign up for text message deals. Perfect. They have all three of those things laid out. Great advertisement. I would switch it up a little bit, just as you've seen with the other ones. Put the incentive up front. Free cheese sticks, big letters. And then on your next online order, when you sign up for our text message deals, text HUT to 69488. That's how I would structure it, and make the free cheese sticks like a big font and maybe overlay the cheese sticks and everything. So again, you really want the incentive to grab the eye of the customer, and then they'll figure out what the qualifiers and the instructions are if the incentive is good enough. But I don't think for this kind of ad, if you thought the incentive was to text HUT to 69488, that's not really going to incentivize me to read further, which if I read further, I go, oh, free cheese sticks, but I might not read that far because, I'm reading tons of things a day and I only have so much time. So you really want to hook them with that awesome incentive. Oh yeah, another great, this one is an awesome deal. I saw this, I was going through the drive-through and I was stunned. I was like, wow, free 2 tacos. That's a really good deal. Like even I would sign up for that, and I sign up for a lot of text message campaigns. So I'm very specific about which ones I do because I don't want to get a ton of them. Okay, so let's break this down. Text JAX SB to 31278. That's the instructions to sign up for mobile offers. Okay, that's the qualifier. By doing this, you're going to receive mobile offers from Jack in the Box and receive free 2 tacos. Like, that's a pretty good deal. Again, I would switch this ad up. I would put the tacos up at the very top. Now I'm starting to get hungry as I'm doing this webinar. I would put the tacos, free 2 tacos up at the very top, and have maybe even those in red or something. And then when you sign up for a mobile offers, text JAX SB to 31278. Again, free 2 tacos needs to be at the very top because that's where customers' eyes go from top to bottom, and that's what we saw at the Seattle Suntan. They didn't put the incentive offer at the very, very bottom because that's the last thing the customer will look at. So if we just flip this ad, it would have been an amazing ad, I think. But again, 2 free tacos is a pretty good deal. Okay, this one's pretty good. And this one is a little different than the Seattle Suntan because they put the instructions in the middle and then the qualifier below. I really don't care. As long as the incentive is at the very top and it's the biggest thing, it's very, very minimal. I think whether the instructions or the qualifier come first or last, it doesn't matter once it's second or third. So this one is interesting too because we have not seen a incentive where you could win something, you have a chance to win something. All of the ones have been you text in, you'll get something immediately because you're my customer and you gave me your phone number. This one is you have a chance to win something when you text in. I'm not as big a fan as the chance to win because that's just not enough for me to give out my phone number. I want to know that I'm going to win, which they couldn't do that obviously with giving free pet food for a year. So I more like the things that I know I'm going to get something right away. But, win free pet food for a year if they've done the testing and, with their customers and seen that works, then that's awesome. So let's break it down. Win free pet food for a year. That is the incentive. That's the big thing that they're offering. And that's why it's so big. And they even put free in red. Like, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, that is the offer. Then below is the instructions. Text pets to 65047. Okay, yep. Okay, that's how I get in there. Okay, and the qualifiers, because there's got to be some kind of catch, right? And receive exclusive discounts and sale offers. Okay, that's the catch. By entering into the contest, I'm also agreeing to receive future text messages. This one's another online form. I'm not going to get tripped up on this one because we went through that with I think it was the shoe company before. So this one is very cool. Definitely different kind of layout because on the right hand side is the incentive. Get a free roast beef classic with a purchase. Okay, so they're kind of mixing it up here. So they're saying when you sign up to get offers that aren't available to anyone else. Okay, so that's the qualifier. But then also they kind of have a qualifier on the right hand side for the deal, which I'm okay with too. Get a free roast beef classic with a purchase of a drink when you sign up. So they're kind of mixing the qualifier between 2 places. I have no issue with that. But again, the eye is drawn to this big thing, on the right-hand side that says get it free. So I'm interested, and then I look at the top and I say sign up to get offers. Okay, I'm okay with that. And then the instructions are all this stuff you got to fill in, and there's a little checkbox at the bottom that you check. So again, all 3 components are here, even on a website form. Okay, let's talk about bait and switch. As we saw with every single one of those campaigns that we were looking at, they had 3 components: incentive, the instructions, and then the qualifier. The qualifier is it's not the most important thing, but it's very, very important if you don't put it in there. So let's look at this one. Daz Bog Coffee. I'm guessing that's how you say it. So they have the incentive, which is get a free Dazbog $4 mobile gift card. Wow, great deal. Sounds awesome. I'm definitely in. The instructions, text free Daz to 466622. Awesome. But they're missing something. They're missing the qualifier. So this would be okay if they were just texting me the $4 gift card, but we all know as SMS marketers, no one's just going to give you a free $4 gift card. They want to collect your phone number to use it for future marketing purposes. Now, when we looked at the very bottom down there, where you can't even read it, it did say you're going to be opted in for receiving future message alerts, but that is not enough, in my opinion. Every single one of those ads that we saw previously were amazingly structured. It was very clear to the customer that they're going to receive your future alerts. Even the one before here, you even had to check a box, I'd like to receive mobile alerts. This one is not clear to the customer. So what's going to happen is customers will text in because, hey, there's no qualifier whatsoever. They're going to actually get a lot of people texting in, but they're going to be in a lot of trouble because customers are not aware that they're going to receive future messages from this company. And for me and for SMS marketing, it's all about trust because, again, giving up that mobile phone number and taking it from a customer is, you have to have trust with that brand. And if you don't have trust or you break the trust by kind of misleading them, and I'm pretty sure they didn't do this on purpose, it's just an example, but a customer would think that they misled them. So every time they get messages, they feel like they're misled. They're going to have higher churn rate, which means people will opt out at a higher rate. It's just something you don't want to do. And, as you can see, all those ads that we saw were great ads. They looked awesome. There wasn't too many words on the page. There's no excuse for not putting the qualifier in there. I don't think, as a third thing, I don't think anybody would forget the instructions. I've never seen that one before. So get a free Dazbog $4 mobile gift card, and then it just didn't even tell them how to do it. So I think really what people are missing most of the time is the qualifier. Always make sure you got that qualifier. And again, put that incentive in big bold letters, just like they did here. If they would have put that qualifier, this would have been one of the best ads we've seen. Okay, so let's talk about this incentive offer, when it comes, how it comes, those kind of things. Let's go back to the Seattle suntan. I took the screenshots of the message that I received. So they text TANS to the short code 33733. There's always a message which we call the welcome message or the opt-in message. This one is very standard. It is, thanks for joining the Seattle Suntans deals campaign. You put all that stop and help and message and data rates and the quantity of messages. That's the message that it really has no value. It's just, it's explaining what they're opting in for. And if you had a great qualifier, they already know that they're joining the SMS campaign. So, it's just kind of a, it's what it is. The message that comes after it, which we always put like a buffer, even though on our website within the software it says, send immediately after, because text messages are so quick, we put a buffer of like 1 to 3 seconds in there just so it always comes after, just 100% of the time. So if you look down here, it'll say show this text message in any store at Seattle Suntan, receive $20 off your next purchase, got the expiration date. It even has the to opt out reply stop, because that's considered a mass text message because you're sending it individually to those customers. So that's what the structure of the messaging should look like. This one comes immediately after. I wouldn't do it 5 minutes later. I just don't see a good reason for doing that. Plus, if a customer sees it, in the advertisement and it doesn't say 5 minutes, they're going to think it's broken. Now, if for some reason you wanted to in the qualifying message, you could say after 5 minutes of joining, but I've never seen that, and I just don't see a reason for doing it. Always send it immediately after. All right, let's talk about the opt-in incentive concerns, because as a business owner or even a marketing manager, you want to make sure that people aren't redeeming coupons multiple times, or trading the coupons or posting them online. There's all kinds of different ways that a business doesn't want coupons being used. So a few different things, and this is more on the technology side. Rolling expiration dates. Find an SMS provider that offers rolling expiration dates like Tatango. What this means is when I opt in on 4/25, it is going to, so every single person that opts in on 4/25, it's going to count from that day and put the expiration date as 4/30, 5 days later. So anybody that opts in on 4/30 will see an expiration date of 5/5. The reason you want to do this is you don't want to sit in front of your computer every day and readjust the message. Plus, you don't want to have the coupon code so far out, because you just don't want to sit by the computer that there's no kind of incentive to actually use the coupon right away. I see a lot of people that they have the coupon expire that day if for some reason maybe they're advertising in store. So, hey, the purchase today that you're making, maybe that Staples one, the purchase that you're making today, save $5 off, but outside of today, you're not going to get any, discount. That's up to your business and kind of strategy you're looking at, but definitely put an expiration date in there. Also, that makes sure customers cannot come back multiple times, for the next year and redeem that offer. All right, this is another interesting one, that if you have a point of sale system or a e-commerce platform that can give you unique coupon codes, this can be really valuable and cut down pretty much on all coupon fraud. So what a unique coupon code is let's say I'm running a promotion for, $10 off a $50 purchase. Well, I would type that into my point of sale system or website, and it would give me, let's say I have 100,000, subscribers. It would give me 100,000 unique coupon codes. And every time one of those coupon codes is used at the point of sale or on the website, the system would cancel out that coupon code, so it can no longer be used again. So as you can see here, Old Navy is using these unique coupon codes and injecting them into the message so that every single subscriber is getting their own unique coupon code. So if I take Old Navy's message or coupon and I post it on Facebook and I say, hey guys, everybody get $10 off $50 purchase, now one person will be able to redeem that, but everybody else, it will error in the point of sale or on the website. So it's definitely something, if you are concerned about coupon fraud or sharing of coupons, it's definitely a great technology feature to incorporate into your campaign. Okay, the last one, and we get this all the time, is opt-in, opt-out consumers. So, Derek, I'm down for, giving, $5 off a $25 purchase, but I don't want my customers opting in, getting the $5 and then just opting out and never hearing from them again, or because I don't have their phone number anymore because they opted out. So we actually looked at all the campaigns that are running on our system, and we took the ones that were giving pretty good incentives, like pretty steep incentives, and we calculated what the churn was, how many people are opting out within 24 hours of receiving the opt-in promotion. And what we found, it's between 93.9% and 98.7%. That averages out, obviously there's outliers, but it averages out to about 97.7% subscriber retention after 24 hours. I'm pretty sure all you guys are, awesome marketers, and 97.7% is a great retention rate for any marketing program, especially couponing. So I don't see this as being an issue where customers, there will be some customers that will do it, and that's just part of the cost of acquiring a phone number. But majority of them, more than or less than 3% on average, will opt out. The rest will stay in your campaign, and you'll have those phone numbers for future marketing purposes. That is definitely worth losing the 3%. All right, let's talk about the proof. As I explained at the very start of the presentation, without the proof, I'm just talking pretty much. So let's go through and look at hard numbers of people and businesses that are following this strategy to the T. And you've seen Seattle suntan, so it's a great case study. $20 off your next purchase, you guys know that. 4,750 opt-ins during the first month. I think they only have like 20 or 30 locations, so this is not like a national company. That's a lot of opt-ins in 1 month. What's crazy though is 57% redemption rate on the opt-in offer. That means a lot of people that are getting that offer, it was such a good offer that 57% of those people are redeeming that offer. $196,000 in new sales during the first month alone. Again, great offer, great incentive. Everything just worked for this campaign. What's crazy is customers redeeming the opt-in offer spent on average 500% more than customers that didn't receive the opt-in offer. So just regular customers that did not opt into the campaign. So this is showing that they did an awesome incentive, which drove a lot of customers to opt in. And those customers that opted in, they optimized the buying power and the sale of those customers to get them to buy more because of the promotion incentive that they're running. They killed it on this campaign. So great example of a company that offered an amazing discount, generated a ton of revenue, and even more revenue per customer than they normally do, in a significant amount. All right, let's talk about Julep. That's that 50% off the next nail polish purchase, which doesn't apply to me, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like it, and 5,000 people did like it. They got 5,000 opt-ins during the first 24 hours. Think about this. If you're in SMS marketing and you sign up for Tatango, and then in the first 24 hours, you have 5,000 mobile phone numbers of your customers, that is a very successful start to a campaign. They had a 10.7% redemption rate on the opt-in offer and a 99% retention rate after receiving the opt-in offer. That means the customers, it was very, very clear to the customers that they were going to opt in for future alerts, and only 1% of the customers that opted in to receive that awesome discount and to sign up for the text message alerts actually opted out, which I would say is phenomenal. National Wholesale Liquidators. Another awesome case study. $5 off any purchase over 25. I think we've seen that before, right? Staples. Yep, I see a trend here. They had a campaign and it got 50,000 opt-ins just because of the $5 off any purchase over $25. Now they're not a national company. I think they have a few locations on different sides of the country. But think about if they got 50,000 people. Think about how many mobile phone numbers Staples is collecting if they're giving $5 off any purchase. Think about how many customers are coming through Staples seeing $5 off any purchase when already 50,000 people opted into this one. Staples, I'm pretty sure, is killing it right now. Okay, let's talk about Taco Bell. Taco Bell is another great one. They gave a free Frutista Freeze, which I have no clue what a Frutista Freeze is. But it must have been pretty good because 13,000 people opted in within the first 5 weeks of their campaign. So text the short code or the keyword to the short code to get a free Frutista Freeze and sign up for the Taco Bell alerts. 13,000 people did that within 5 weeks. I'm pretty sure any marketing manager out there would think that's an awesome success, especially because those 13,000 phone numbers now, you can text message them weekly, daily, whenever you want. Like, that is a captured audience. And with text messaging having a 99% open rate, every one of those 13,000 people are seeing the message you're sending them. Hugely powerful for a brand. Simon Malls. So Simon did what we saw with the pet company. They said a chance to win $1,000 shopping spree, and then the qualifier was when you join, our mobile club and get the discounts and promotions and stuff of that nature. 6,000 opt-ins within the first week. So, for them, it did work. The whole, chance to win 1,000. So you have a 1 in 6,000 shot of winning this thing because they had 6,000 people opt in. But I guess for Simon Mall customers, that's a good enough, chance that they're going to give up their phone number. So that's it. Hopefully it didn't bore you. These strategies have been proven. And again, I only showed you, I think it was like 3 or 4 case studies. those are the ones that I know of and that the numbers are public. Think about the ones that aren't public. The ones like Staples where they keep their numbers pretty close to their vest. These strategies are working for companies, every kind of company. We saw restaurants, we saw online, we saw pet companies, we saw a Taco Bell, we saw a mall. Every single kind of business can use this strategy to grow a huge subscriber base. And whether that's starting out from 0 subscribers or maybe even starting out at 50,000 subscribers and you just need to kick your campaign in the butt and get it going, implement these strategies. Make sure you use the 3 different fundamentals of advertising. The incentive, which is the most important thing, the big thing. The qualifier, don't forget the qualifier. If you forget the qualifier, you're bait and switching. Customers aren't going to like that. They're going to feel like they've been misled. You never want to do that as a brand. And then the instruction, don't ever forget the instructions. I guess if you take one thing away, don't ever forget the instructions. You got to tell them how to actually opt in, whether it's putting a phone number in a website form or a point of sale or texting it into a short code. Anyway, my name is Derek Johnson, and this has been a presentation on growing your SMS subscribers. Hopefully it works. I know it's going to work for you guys if you implement these strategies. Please email me with any questions. My email is Derek, DEREK, @tatango.com. Also, if you implement these strategies and you get awesome results, like 5,000 people opting into your SMS campaign within the first 24 hours, call me, email me, and tell me how great you feel, because this is exactly what this webinar is about, is to get you and your campaign to grow super fast.